Hi, this is Dr. Lonnie Smith, and you're about to hear some incredible music by a very dear friend of mine, Mr. Robbie Robinson. Great conductor, arranger, and musician. Stick around.
Joey DeFrancesco here. Just want to say a few words about my friend, Robbie Robinson. Wonderful person, most of all. Great musician, musical director for many years with my other friend, Frankie Valli. I can't say enough good things about this guy. You're there today with him and you're hanging out, and you're going to find out for yourself.
And now a man who has learned after all these years that big girls do cry, Robbie Robinson.
I'm Robbie Robinson. I play Hammond, and you should too. Good evening, everybody out there in Jammin' Java land, to all you jammers. I am coming to you tonight from my music office at Trinity Lutheran Church. Again, I had internet issues. My internet, ever since the fires, has been really kind of wacky. And so sometimes it works right, sometimes it doesn't, and I'm always monitoring it via speed test kind of thing. And I saw tonight it did not look very good, so I scrambled over here to Trinity Lutheran Church, to this beautiful office that I have here, with all these great crosses up here, and where I know the internet is better. They're having a class tonight on The Chosen in the sanctuary over here. So I don't want to be too loud. So here we are. Let's rock and roll. Let's see who's in the house for starters. Let's see one thing. Let's see if this is going to work today. I wonder if it is. I doubt it. Ha! That's not quite working at all. So how about, well, let's see here. Maybe I can finagle this here. Let's, if I go here, and if I assign this to no, that's a little too beyond my capabilities. So, but let's see who's in the house tonight. Let me go over here and turn this guy off. Well, Bob Sneed, my buddy from Litchfield, who happens to be the husband of the president of the Litchfield Museum and Route 66 Welcome Center. I guess that makes him the first man. Is that how that works? George, a Music for All Seasons. Hello, brother. Hello, Charlotte. Senior B in the house. All the jammers. Not the exciting Super Bowl we hoped for, but perhaps the Super Bowl we deserved. Yeah, the Super Bowl was kind of a dud on a few different levels, wasn't it? Mahomes blamed others for losing. Interesting. Hello, Jennifer Green. All the jammers in the house. Ruth, Dominic, my wife Carla watching from home. Bob Bothwell, Tom Grable. Are you guys back in Jersey now, Tom? KP Lynn from Chicago, Carla from Florida, originally from Litchfield. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on this week. Tonight, we are going to kind of focus on a few things, couple things. We're on the road this week. Wednesday, we're back in the groove. Frankie, with Grammy in hand, we're hitting the road. Hello, Tom. Hello, Debbie. So back in New Jersey. Well, we are going to, let's see, where are we going to go this week here? I think I have some, well, gosh, I'm not sure where I put those pictures. Let's see here. Well, we are going to Columbia, South Carolina. Then we're going to Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm going to get a chance to see a bunch of my family down there. And then we're going to Charlotte, North Carolina, I think. Hello, Connie Huff, another Litchfieldian. Steve Zemko. Oh, South Carolina. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. And let's see. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. We had rehearsal today with Frankie. One of the things, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. And indeed, we rehearse a lot. I think that's what it takes. You got to practice. You got to rehearse. And we have always been a band that rehearses a lot. And we're going to get into it. We're going to talk. We're going to look in the future for Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. We're going to look in the past for Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. We're going to take a look at the Super Bowl. We're going to maybe review some of the Grammy stuff. We are going to look up Burt Lansden. Okay, great. Yes, I know Burt lives down there. So Burt, make sure you try to get a hold of me or get a hold of me when we play there. All right, everybody. Well, let's bring in Pastor Chuck to get this ball rolling. Pastor Chuck is in the house, and he's got a great message for us. So here is Pastor Chuck.
Thank you, Robbie, and good evening, everyone. I hope you've had a really great day. The epistle lesson for yesterday was 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verses 12 through 20. But I'd just like to share verse 12 with you and then verses 18 to 20. So with yourselves, since you are eager for the manifestation of the Spirit, strive to excel in building up the church. I thank God that I speak in tongues more than all of you. Nevertheless, in church, I would rather speak 5 tongues with my mind in order to instruct others than 10,000 words in a tongue. Brothers, do not be children. In your thinking, be infants in evil, but in your thinking, be mature. The congregation in Corinth was a real mess. There were those who were teaching false doctrine, saying that the resurrection never happened. And there was also some false teaching or false doctrine about the gift of tongues and the use of spiritual gifts. There were deep divisions within the congregation in terms of who they should follow. They were following the various personalities, some Paul, some Apollos, some Peter, and they were divided about who they were going to follow. And then there was also an incestuous relationship going on where a young man was cohabitating with his stepmother. And on top of all of that, they were practicing what I think we could call impurity of worship in the way in which they celebrated their fellowship meals and the celebration of the Lord's Supper. Well, you can imagine the kind of chaos that was going on in that church. Every little group trying to gain control, constantly bickering over who was right and who was wrong, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And Paul tries to pull all of them away from that by saying, I know this is a concern for all of you, but you're missing the point. You're forgetting what it's all. Thank you, Robbie, and good evening, everyone. I hope you've had a really great day. With my mind, in order to instruct others, and divisions within the congregation in terms of who they should follow. They're following the various personalities, some Paul, some Apollos, some Peter, and they were divided about who they were going to follow. And then there was also an incestuous relationship going on where a young man was cohabitating with his stepmother. And on top of all of that, they were practicing what I think we could call impurity of worship in the way in which they celebrated their fellowship meals and the celebration of the Lord's Supper. Well, you can imagine the kind of chaos that was going on in that church. Every little group trying to gain control, constantly bickering over who was right and who was wrong, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And Paul tries to pull all of them away from that by saying, I know this is a concern for all of you, but you're missing the point. You're forgetting what it's all about. And I think what he's saying applies to us as well today. And I would summarize it with his words, strive to excel in building up the church. And what is it that builds up the church? Not for me to focus upon myself and what I want or think I need, but to find ways to help my brother and sister in Christ. It's not about me, it's about Jesus. It's not about getting my way, it's about helping my brothers and sisters in Christ find the way. And can I say it this way? It's not about how much I feel loved by others, but it's about finding ways to share the love and to give love, the love of Christ, to others. Over the years, I've discovered that the more attention I try to give to myself, the more I demand attention be given to me, that my needs are filled, then the greater the sense of emptiness becomes. If you want to discover how richly you've been blessed, sit down and spend some time talking in depth with someone who's really going through some problems. If you want to experience well, love and an overwhelming sense of love, then start telling others that you love them, not only with your words, but by what you do for them. And the amazing thing I have found is that the more one tries to love others, the more they sense the love of others. That's why Paul says our concern should be to build up the church. My father told me marriage is a 50-50 proposition. You give 50% to get 50%. But what they practiced was something completely different. They totally gave 100% to each other. And that, I think, beloved, applies to the church as well. It applies to our relationship with one another. And generally speaking, there will be people who will take advantage of us. They will try to use us. They will take advantage of our love. You get this all the time. But that's why St. Paul says we should be infants in evil. That is, understanding, recognizing that it exists, and seeing it for what it is, but don't practice it. He says, but in your thinking, be mature. Don't be naive. Don't be foolish. Look to follow your Lord, but recognize the church is filled with people who are broken and who are sinners just like you and me. And in spite of that, let us love one another as Christ has loved us. And that's the whole point, sacrificial love. Let's pray. Father, it's easy in this world to focus on what we perceive to be our own personal needs. Our society seems to emphasize this more and more every day. So it becomes easy to forget about the needs of others. Help us to find the joy that exists in building up others and placing their needs before our own. And help us to learn to love in the way that you have loved us. Bless our time together this evening, and hear each one of us as we name before you those who are suffering and in need of healing or comfort, who need to be encouraged or strengthened. Be with the doctors and nurses who minister to them. And Father, thank you for the forgiveness that comes through our Savior Jesus Christ. And may we live in that forgiveness daily. In Jesus' name, amen. So back to you, Robbie. God bless everyone. Have a really great evening.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whosoever would believe in him would not perish, but have everlasting life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whosoever would believe in him would not perish, but shall not perish, shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Indeed, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. That's kind of a perfect song for this coming week, or this week, because we have Valentine's Day coming this Friday. We're going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee on Valentine's Day. And by the way, you may notice I broke out one of my old tour jackets. I like this from I think this is from the early 80s where we toured England, the Kruger organization. It's kind of got some cool, I don't know if you can see the back. Maybe I'll show it to you in a bit. But it's back in the 80s, we used to wear a lot of tour different, and so I have a few tour jackets laying around. I have not worn this for decades, so it's kind of fun to break that out. But let's talk Super Bowl. That seems to be obviously on everybody's mind this day. And so Super Bowl 2025, we are, this was, I think, was it 59? Is that what it was? Or 60? I can't remember what. But you see that guy right there in the shorter gentleman? His name is Louis Montez, and he's a friend of mine. He is one of the primary sound people at the Super Bowl, and he's been doing that for decades. And I told him to send me some pictures, and so he shot these out to me, and I've got here. I'll show you some more pictures. Kind of fun stuff here. Let's see here. I want to go to. I want to make sure I hit the right buttons. Okay. Oh, there's Louis on the field too. I can only imagine what the security is like there. There's a picture from, I think, his office, which is so let's see here. Oh, it's Richie Gahate. Hey, buddy. Well, look at the jacket I'm wearing. Richie has this jacket too. Remember when we got these, Gahate? So cool to have you, brother. So this is at Super Bowl, and here's some more pictures. Now, that's Louis Montez on the left, and that's Jim Sanders, better known as Redford. Redford is our front of house sound man, and he also works on the Super Bowl every year. Both those guys have been doing that for decades. They go down to work for. Louis works for a company called ATK, which is one of the biggest sound companies in the world, and they do the Super Bowl, they do the Oscars, they do the Grammys. And Louis, by the way, has also helped us out with the sound here at Trinity Lutheran. And Jim Sanders, of course, has been with us for 30 or 40 years, close to it, doing front of house for yeah, you remember that that jacket. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's see here. So I've got some more pictures from the Super Bowl. Check it out. There's Louis in his office. Can you imagine the pressure on a guy like that? He's shooting out sound to millions and millions and millions of people. And he is the nicest guy and just a real brother and a super talented guy. And then he comes over and does the sound at our little church here at Trinity, which is kind of cool. This is... in 1991, we played for a Super Bowl event. It was a party the night before. I don't know if they were even having Super Bowl halftime shows at that time. It was probably just doing. So this is a bag that we got. Now, I don't think Richie was with us then. Oh, Richie said he's in Florida on his way doing the Smooth Jazz Blues. Hey, well, Richie, who all is going to be on that tour with you, on that cruise with you? I think, aren't you working with, is it Chris Bodie, or is it working with Dave Koz or somebody like that? But I remember us doing this Super Bowl event, which was really kind of cool. We got that, yeah, January 27th, 1991, Tampa Stadium, Tampa, Florida. Frankie should have done the halftime. Well, what did you guys think about the halftime show? I think I have a couple thoughts of it. I think, first of all, Kendrick Lamar just, yeah. I thought first of all, I could not understand a word he was saying practically. And so I thought it was pretty much boring. I don't understand why the Super Bowl doesn't have people who would be have a broader appeal. I mean, that's a rapper like Kendrick Lamar, who's obviously a big deal. He just won a bunch of Grammys. But he says, Senior B says, New Kids on the halftime show for 25. Okay, interesting. I like this part too, Rich. It's officially baseball season. Oh yeah, I'm ready for that. And so the only thing I liked about the halftime show was that at least people had their clothes on for a change. It seems like they're getting wearing less and less clothes for the halftime shows. Look at this. So Richie Gahate Garcia is with Marcus Miller, Kirk Whalum, Boney James, Brian Culbertson, Mindy Abair, and Vincent Ingala. So, yeah, I know some of those cats. Please talk to Brian. Brian is from Bloomington, Illinois, I think. Interesting. Us old people had a hard time understanding lyrics. I don't know if it was only old people, candidly, because whatever. I did. Oh, this was something that jumped out at me. This was one of the commercials. Java Jam Battle of the coffee brand. This was a commercial for Dunkin' Donuts. And I thought that was I thought it was kind of cool that well, I don't know. Are they stealing my logo? I don't know. Java Jam. Or are they watching Jam and Java? I don't know. And there's another picture from that commercial. Now, back to what Senior B said. Us old people, and I found by the way, one thing I really did enjoy, I loved seeing Lauren Daigle, who I got to meet last year and at that Grammy thing that we did. But Lauren Daigle did a great job with My Country. See, what did she sing? Not the Star Spangled Banner, My Country 'Tis of Thee, I think. The national anthem was two different singers and songs. Yeah. I did really like, I wouldn't say I really liked, but I really liked John Batiste version of the national anthem, and I thought his chords were really kind of cool. NFL's trying to appeal to a younger generation, even though us old guys are the biggest supporters. It seems to me, Pastor Chuck, that the appeal for the Super Bowl is broad appeal. You would think they would want somebody that has a broader appeal. And here is somebody that I saw this comment and I had to post this. Here's what everybody says. This should be next year's Super Bowl entertainment. Check this out. Next year's Super Bowl halftime show because too many old heads are complaining. How about that? Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Huh? I love it. Why not? You know what? And this, yeah, the national anthem was good. That was with Trombone Shorty. No. That was with, the piano player, John Batiste. But definitely Lauren Daigle and Trombone Shorty did a great job with, what song did they sing? My country's America the Beautiful. I think that's what they did. Well, here's one of my songs on Robbie's records that is, I think, is perfect for the Super Bowl, and this is what it takes to win in any kind of a sport, any kind of a championship event, any kind of, and that is, it takes the will to win. And of course, on Sarah Nimitz and I wrote a song called "The Will to Win," and it goes like this.
Go to work before the sun is up, and don't return until the moon is in the sky. Every night, dreaming of the game. And when we're fighting just to stay alive, I know the spirit inside is gonna call my name, call my name. We count the time until the day arrives, and every moment I am closer to the prize. Alive, live the life I live. Never quit until we hit a wall, and then it's on before we've got it over again. Put me in and let the game begin. I hear the music getting me to the goal relentlessly. Will to win, drive the dream in me, determined to begin your song of victory. I hear you in my heart, sing your melody, born to play this part with your will to win within me. I'm not afraid of rolling up my sleeves, to leave it all up on the beat and don't look back. Swing the bat with everything I have. Hear the sound as I hit the ball, flying over the wall. It's going, going, gone. I put my feet up on the solid ground. I hear the roar of the crowd cheer me on, as I run along. I feel the wind blowing in my face as I'm running the race and headed home again. Oh, put me in and let the fun begin. I hear your music getting me to the goal relentlessly. Will to win, drive the dream in me, determined to begin the song of victory. I
Will to Win. And we are getting ready to go on the road. But by the way, thanks, Gahate. My buddy Gahate, one of my dear brothers. So we are getting ready to go on the road with Frankie. And in 1978, I got a call from my friend, Richie Gahate Garcia. And Richie Gahate Garcia said, hey, you think you might be interested in the Frankie Valli Band? And I said, absolutely. And so Richie recommended me to Frankie, and I got a call from the manager. And here I am in 2025, 47 years later, Gahate, all because of you, my friend. I've got some pictures of us touring through the years. Here, check this out. Let's see here. We got, well, there's one. I've got a bunch of different bands pictures. Well, before we even go that, let's see if I can go to. Do I have our tour pictures on? Oh, this week's tour. Well, here these are. So Thursday night we are going to be in where is that? Township Auditorium. It doesn't say the city, does it? That's crazy. That's in Columbia, South Carolina, or is it North Carolina? I'm not sure. I know I would love to have Gahate on tour. He's been with us in and out through the years. He's part of the family. There's no question about it. Now we're at, okay, so that's Columbia. That's Thursday night. Friday night we are going to be in Knoxville Civic Auditorium. That's funny, Bob. So that Knoxville, and then Charlotte. Did I get there? Saturday, February 15th, Charlotte at Ovens Auditorium. It doesn't say. That's in, well, North Carolina. And so, well, here are the dates. The 13th, this Thursday, Columbia, South Carolina. Knoxville, Tennessee on Friday. And then Charlotte, North Carolina. But here are some of the band pictures. This is, I pulled up some different pictures throughout the years. And I bet Gahate's in some of these, I'm sure. This is one of the incarnations of this band. There have been a lot of different musicians. Now, this is one of my favorite pictures, of course, when Frankie and that guy in the middle, he used to play in a band called the Beatles. There's Frankie and Chris Montez hanging out backstage. There's Frankie and I with Doc Kupka. We had Doc Kupka play with us. So this is a great picture. This is Joe Pesci in the back there, you see, is cutting Frankie's hair. And that's Tommy DeVito in the front. And I don't know who that is cutting Tommy's hair. One of you guys might know who that is. Let's see here. What else we got? This is another version of the band. There we are out there in Utah somewhere, I think. There we are at that Grammy thing, and that's backstage, and Frankie and Kevin Costner, of course. There we are with this was back in 2015, maybe, I think, with the London Symphony at Royal Albert Hall. And there we are in the studio. That's Fino and Frankie and I in my studio there in Simi, here in Simi. This is back in the day, too, one of the tour, all-access Four Tops Four Seasons tour. Those were some great memories. Our buddy Ray Negron and Frankie and I. Look at that smile on Frankie. I can't imagine what Ray is saying. This is interesting. You may not recognize him, but that's Jason Bignamini, who is the conductor of the Pittsburgh Philharmonic. And he came to our show. That was pretty cool. Ah, there's Gahate. This is a great old picture. I don't know if you remember this picture. This was at Jam for Jesus because I can see that's at Trinity Lutheran Church here. Right here where I'm at, actually, in the sanctuary before the backdrop was changed. Left to right, that's Lynn Hammond, who used to play drums with us. My brother Rex with his mustache. That's Toby Tyler there, who used to sing with us. In the middle is Jerry Corbetta. And there's Gahate with his long hair. Look at your hair there, brother. And there I am with a carnation or something there. This is us playing at Jam for Jesus. Pretty cool picture. All alumni. There's Frankie and Bob Crew back in the day. And there's another picture of, there's a Chuck Wilson playing drums. Dr. Lonnie Smith, Frankie Valli, and me. This is a fun picture. This is from left to right. It's me, and then that's Clark Rigsby, an engineer who worked on Touch of Jazz record with us. And then that's the great Al Di Meola with the colorful jacket. Great jazz guitar player, was in Chick Corea's band, and so many other things. Frankie Valli, the great Joey DeFrancesco, and then Emilio Castillo, who is the leader of Tower of Power, on the right. That's a great picture. All backstage in Phoenix, I think it was. There's Frankie and Mike Myers. Well, let's play a Frankie Valli song. Let's see if I've got what I've got here. I've got some old, I've got some new. So here's a taste. Let's go back. This is, this is way back. This is in 1982. This is us doing a medley of Dawn and Under My Skin. So see if things have changed any. It goes like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie Valli.
Seasons, yeah.
That was a few years ago. That was 1982, I think. Let's go back to some of our going back memory lane here and some of these pictures here. Those pictures were, where did they go? Here we go. Well, this is a lot of different pictures from all over I just grabbed a whole bunch of pictures today. 1982, George. Thanks, Anthony. There we are. When we were doing That's at Royal Albert Hall. And that's sometime, probably about 10 years ago. There's one of the incarnations of the Four Seasons. That's the one when we did the Street Fighter album. And of course, Frankie down front, top left to right, that's Robin Swenson. Then that's me, then that's Rex and Chuck Wilson and Lynn Hammond and Larry Lingle. And there we are at that's at Royal Albert Hall. That's always one of the great places to play. I know Richie loves that place. Of course, we had some great tours in England together. There's a horn section. There's some great horn players too. If you go left to right, that's Rick Keller. That's the great Rick Baptist on trumpet, second from the left. Next to him, that's Jerry Vivino, who was in the band in 1978 when I joined with Richie, and he's playing baritone sax. That's Dave Stout on trombone. That's Warren Ham there next to Dave playing saxophone. The great Harry Kim. And there's me before I lost some weight. Wow. Senior B says Sarah's playing Royal Albert Hall in April. That is super cool. That is definitely one of the great venues in the world. There we are. I'm not sure where. Oh, there's Gahate. That's another incarnation of this band. Got Bob Gaudio in the middle. You see right next to Bob Gaudio, to his right, to his left, our right, that's Vinny Chilchewski, who's going to be playing trumpet with us in Knoxville. And there's Gahate, second from the left, or third from the left, I guess you would say. Oh, there's where we ran into Lenny Kravitz last year in the airport. That was kind of fun. And there we are on the jet. We'll be getting on the jet again this weekend here, which is always kind of fun. Let's do another Frankie. So talking about England, I think Richie did this with us, but we did the Proms at the Park in England, and this is with the BBC Orchestra. Check this out.
With the BBC Concert Orchestra, conducted by Robbie Robinson, it is an honor to say these words. Welcome to the stage, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons!
Yeah, that was quite, oh, what a night, that's for sure, no question about it. Now, I also have some videos of the rehearsal. So that was with the BBC Orchestra. Now, the day before we did that show, I went to rehearse with the BBC Orchestra, and here's a little clip from that. It's kind of fun.
With the BBC Concert Orchestra, conducted by Robbie Robinson, it is an honor to say these words. Welcome.
No, that's not it. How about here? Is this it?
With the BBC Concert Orchestra, conducted by Robbie Robinson.
Never mind, I don't have that clip. So what else are we gonna? So we're hitting the road. So if anybody is out there this weekend, come and see us, and let me know. Direct message me or whatever, and especially Bert. If you get this, please, Bert, get a hold of me. I'd love to meet you. And now, what else? Oh, now, let's go here. If we go back, yesterday in Who Remembers What You Were Doing, February 9th in 1964. Who knows what they were doing in February 9th, 1964? Well, a major event happened in the music industry, and that is that the Beatles performed on Ed Sullivan. And 1964, 73 million Americans tuned in to watch the Beatles' first appearance on Ed Sullivan's show. The Beatles first appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show on February 9th, 1964. So let's do the math. So 64, and this is 2025, so that's 61 years ago and one day. And I remember where I was when I was watching them. Do you remember where you were when we were watching the Beatles? Did you watch the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, that first appearance? What songs did they perform? All My Lovin', Till There Was You, She Loves You, I Saw Her Standing There, and I Want to Hold Your Hand. And at 8 o'clock on February 9th, 1964, America tuned in to CBS and the Ed Sullivan Show, but this night was different. 73 million people gathered in front of their TV sets to see the Beatles' first live performance on U.S. soil. This television rating was a record-setting 45.3, meaning that 45% of households with televisions were watching that. Now, those kind of numbers you can't even get anymore in the day of cable TV and so much diverse programming and everything, and so many channels. Back in those days, of course, there was 3 or 4 channels, and now there's 3 or 4,000. The television rating was the figure reflected a total of 23 million American homes. The show garnered a 60-point share, meaning 60% of television turned on were turned to Ed Sullivan. Right there. But it sure changed the music business, I can tell you that. And here's some interesting thing too, I thought. Here, let me go back up here. Right here, get this. These are the top charts on February 8th, 1964. I went to Hold Your Hand, the Beatles went to number 1. And look down here at number 24, Dawn Go Away. We were rehearsing Dawn and working on a new intro today on it, interestingly enough. And here's another change. This then, the month later after that first appearance by the Beatles, they dominated the charts. Numbers 1, 2, and 4 were always all Beatles. But look, number 3. 3 was Dawn Go Away. Senior B, I think you're right on target here. You hear so many people who saw the Beatles and decided they wanted to be musicians. I saw them, but I was already in a band and just starting out. But I remember seeing them. I think I was in a band or just playing around with bands. As a matter of fact, here I've got some. But I think that is a fascinating stat. If you look at the Billboard Hot 100, week of March 7th, 1964. I showed this to Frankie today, which was kind of fun. Here's some of the early bands. This was one of the very first bands that I was in. And I was playing saxophone, you can see there. That's when Bob Seeds started playing drums. Yes, the Four Seasons held strong through that British invasion. This band was called the Rebels here, by the way. We were playing at the high school dance. And then that was another band I was in, Joe Eddie and the Penetrators. I ran into Joe Eddie a couple of years ago when he came to our concert in Chicago with the Route 66 band. It was really fun to see him. The guy to my left is Paul Matika, who I ended up playing in bands with for many years. And that was kind of fun. Here's got some old... And then there I am starting on the Farfisa compact organ. That was one of my very first combo organs. And this is the band that we had in Litchfield, the Sonics. And we played at the Battle of the Bands, the Illinois State Fair, and we won first place for the Battle of the Bands in the Illinois State Fair. Left to right, that's Frank Mattiota. Then that's Don Millette. In the middle is Bob Henriksen. Then that's Chuck Wilson holding the microphone and the tambourine, and he ended up being with us with Frankie Valli for years and stuff. Then next to him, the guitar player Mel Davis, and then me on the organ, of course. We used to play. This was one of our regular gigs. We played every Friday night at this skating rink. Not for skating. They had dances on Friday nights, and the Sonics played there in Litchfield. There's our card. So if you need to hire us, give me a call. There's my phone number, except that phone number is from 50-some years ago, 60 years ago. There I am back in the day. These are the early day pictures. And there when we evolved into the Far Cries. The Sonics became the Far Cries. And you can see the Beatles influence there. Litchfield, Illinois. There's back in the day. And there is a picture back in the day. And no question, the Beatles inspired the whole thing about being in bands. I was in a band, and I always knew I would have been in a band ever. I started when I was 14 years old being in bands, and I'm still in a band, as I like to say. Let's do another music. Well, speaking of the Four Seasons, one of the cool things that happened this week is on Robbie's Records. We had another song cross the 1 million views threshold on YouTube. And that song was our Sarah and my remake of Tell It to the Rain. Let me see here. Where are those? Oh, here it is. Okay, and so here we are. Well, let me go back up here. So this is the fourth song in Robbie's Records to hit 1 million on YouTube. Pretty cool. And you can see in that picture on the left, on our left, the original writers. That's with Chubby Cifelli on the left, Frankie Valli, Mike Petrillo, the other writer of the song, with me. And that was neat that we had all four of us together. That was at a Frankie show in Jersey last year, I think, or the year before. And so Tell It to the Rain. Now, we did a whole new version of this song. We changed the style of it dramatically. And, of course, there's Sarah and I in the studio. Although on this song, we did this. She was in her studio. I was in my studio. And I sent her the track. She sang on it and rock and roll. So this is very Hammond organ-centric. And as you know, I love Hammond organ stuff, and I thought this would be, and it's really bare bones. I only used bass, drums, and Hammond organ, except for the bridge. I added a little string thing, and I think let's play that version. Our version of Tell It to the Rain, which is across 1 million views. Here's, by the way, and that's on Robbie's Records on Spotify. I have this new Hammond Masterworks playlist. Check it out if you get a chance, please. And here are, I This is the fourth song to reach 1 million. But let's play it. It's Tell It to the Rain. Let me see here. And Tony Orlando was so gracious, he played it on his radio show. But here's with his introduction. Check it out.
My buddy Robbie Robertson has been the musical director for the great Frankie Valli for 45 years. And he goes in and he cuts a Rain record, but it was originally done by Frankie and the Four Seasons. It was called Tell It to the Rain. Big hit for Frankie. But I think Robbie has earned the right, after 45 years of conducting for Frankie, the Jersey Boy of Jersey Boys, and playing keyboards for him, to play his version of his buddy's big hit record, Tell It to the Rain. This is Robbie Robertson featuring Sarah Nimitz on Tell It to the Rain.
You can say all your lies, 'cause I've heard them all before. Tell it to the rain and the stars that shine above. Tell it to the rain, yeah, that it's me you're thinking of, and I'm your love. Tell it to the rain, 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 rain. Tell it to the rain. Tell it to the rain, rain, rain. Go on and tell it to the rain, 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 rain. You gotta tell it, rain, rain. Tell it to the rain, 'cause I don't care anymore.
So that video has now passed the 1 million mark. You can see these videos. These are the top 8 videos on my Robbie Robinson Music YouTube page. If you haven't subscribed to that, make sure you check it out. But you see the very, and it's the So 4 of them have gone to over a million views, and they're very diverse. Those first 4, it's fascinating to me. Part of my MO on Robbie's Records is we have a very diverse catalog of all different styles and of music. But you see, the first one is What Me Worry, which is that jazz piece that I collaborated with Jim Alfredson and Brian Charette. That's the most viewed. That's got 1.4 million views. And next to that is Go to Dark Gethsemane, which is a dark classical Easter hymn kind of a thing, Good Friday hymn, really, that I collaborated with Andrea Hammond, and that's got 1.3 million views. And All That Matters is number 3, which is my collaboration with my grandkids, 3 of my granddaughters, 1.2 million, and Tell It to the Rain just crossed the 1 million threshold. And so thank you all for your support out there. I can't tell you how appreciated, because obviously none of this could happen without your support. So thank you for that. And you see the ones that are bubbling underneath 1 million. Next on the list is Route 66, 800,000. I Write the Songs, 767,000. Will to Win, 505,000. And Knock 3 Times, 477. Knock 3 Times is the one that seems to be really good, doing well on Spotify, on the streaming platforms. So that's the world and Robbie's Records these days. So check it out. It's on YouTube, all the stream. However you listen to your music, unless you listen to CDs these days. I don't know that, but I digress. Let's go to, and to answer your question, what is the next release? I was thinking about that a lot. I've got to, I don't think I have a release yet this year. Yes, Senior B said the next 4 do have something in common. No question about it. All collaborations with Sarah Nimitz. I think, well, one of my next, I've got to go through, because I've got a lot of things sitting on the shelf ready for release. I'm thinking one of the early releases, matter of fact, I'm going to record a version of Can't Take My Eyes Off You. I think time is just right to get that, an instrumental version. And I have an arrangement, and I've played it a number of times. As a matter of fact, a couple weeks ago, was the NAMM show. Let's go to NAMM for a minute here. See if I can go. Sure, Robbie. Let's see. How about here? Well, there I am at the NAMM show. That was this year. Oh, that's old, though. Let's see if I have a newer one than that. There's this year at NAMM. And I did a version, and I was, I really love Hammond organ, if you didn't know. And there was a schedule I was able to, that was on Thursday. So I was playing for Hammond Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and released Let Us Ever Walk with Jesus with Travis Clore. That's a great idea, too. Give me your ideas. What of my catalog you think would be? Yeah, will the instrument be a Hammond organ? Yes. So here, when I was demoing, here's my basic arrangement. Now, this is just me playing it, but I would record it in the studio with a track. I would create a track and probably guitar and probably live drums. So here is the arrangement that I want to do of Can't Take My Eyes Off You. All right, so yeah, that was at the NAMM show. And that is probably going to be one of my next releases. But, well, I've got to record it still for us. And, of course, we're busy. That's at the NAMM show that was with Brian and Jim. You know what? I had so much stuff from here's some more pictures from the NAMM show. Check this out. So that's was Steve Simmons from Hammond. That's my buddy Michael Miller. There's a whole bunch of Hammond guys. There's the great Ellis Hall, the great Ronnie Foster in there. That's the great Michael Thompson. There I am with Jim, and there I am doing my thing there. John Hammond, Jimmy Smith, the Reverend Jimmy Smith, Ronnie Foster. Notice my Vanilla Fudgers, Carla and I, and Dice K. Kwai and his wife. And she is the president of Hammond Suzuki. So yeah, I think that might be the next. Let's see what we got to say. So that's one of them. I'd like you here to a Fusion original going back to. Yeah, I've got some Fusion songs. One of the songs that I've got to record is. That it's getting, is Soli Deo Gloria. Now, I've been performing that live for the last couple of years, and it's definitely in the fingers. That's something I could do, Soli Deo Gloria, which would be very fusionistic. That's definitely going to be one that's going to be sooner than later. Michael Crosby says, yes, the fusion pieces. And KP Lynn says, let us ever walk with Jesus. Yes. So, yeah, I've got to, this next week or two, I've got to really get a strategy as far as the next few releases. Sarah and I have some songs sitting on the shelf, too, that need to be finished. We have a great version of The Long and Winding Road that's sitting there waiting. A couple other things that are sitting there in the hopper. So, but it's a busy time. By the way, we're also talking about some dates in Illinois. Or somewhere in the Midwest with the Route 66 band that's sitting there. And so a lot of really cool stuff is in the works this year. Of course, we're back on the road with Frankie here, which is super cool too. And as you see here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then after that, I think we have some more of the dates in March, but I'm not sure. And then it looks like in April we're in Florida. I don't know if this is up to date. Tell you the truth. Let's do another Frankie song. What do I have here of us? Well, of course, Frankie just had his Grammy, and last week was such an amazing week. You forgot 3 dates in March in New Jersey. Oh, yeah, that's right, of course. By the way, this is a great picture. I haven't shown this. I've just found this. This is the 2025 Grammy class of Grammy winners, I think is exactly what it is. But there's a bunch of the, and I don't know who all that is, actually. But there's Frankie in the middle. Is that Kendrick Lamar next to Frankie, too? You guys all probably know more of these artists than I do, that's for sure. This is a great picture, though. And, last week I put out this slideshow, needed to come back to St. Louis or Memphis. You're right, Charlotte, I agree. This is that slideshow from Frankie's Grammy. This is some memories from that. Check it out. Well, Frankie Valli, Lifetime Achievement Award. His first Grammy for a guy who made his first record in 1953, 72 years ago. And he finally wins a Grammy. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So with Grammy in hand, we are hitting the road Wednesday. Yeah, no question about it. Congratulations. And Richie says, Frankie did once, which I played on Golden Slumbers. Well, Frankie never won a Grammy, so I'm not sure what you're talking, Richie. He should have won a Grammy many times, of course. That was a great record that you played on, by the way. I don't know if anybody heard Frankie's version of Golden Slumbers. Great version. So, one of the things, by the way, with the Super Bowl that I really appreciated was I saw, maybe it wasn't the Super. Yeah, I think it was. I heard a commercial with Born to Be Wild, and of course we released Born to Be Wild a few months ago, and that's doing it really well out there too. So it's kind of cool. That's with the Route 66 band, and again, like I said, we are going to be coming somewhere in the Midwest, definitely back at the Wildly, and hopefully some other gigs. And it was great to see you, Tom and Debbie Grable, too, this weekend, who came to here at Trinity, and that was really cool, and who gifted me, oh yeah, that ad. This was a cool ad, too, I gotta say. So this week, we are leaving Wednesday. Thursday is going to be Columbia, South Carolina. Friday is going to be Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm going to have my daughter and some of my grandkids all come out. Saturday is going to be Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Monday back to California and back to Jam and Java. And who knows what kind of exciting things we will be doing on Jam and Java. You were talking about songs. Yeah, you know what? It's amazing how he did things a long time ago. It's late for you out there, Gahate. Of course, you're still a kid. And by the way, I did have a picture. I really appreciated that. Let's see if I can grab it. I don't know if I can. Thank you, Tom and Debbie, for that shirt. Everybody knows, I guess, that I love Vanilla Fudge. That one guy in the picture was. All right, brother. God bless you, my friend. Have a safe travels on that boat out there. And I think what we'll do this week, it's Valentine's Day is Friday, and I'll be in Knoxville, Tennessee on Friday, which is kind of fun. I'll get to see my daughter, and some of my grandkids. That keyboard, yeah, that's an interesting backdrop. That's AI generated. So again, this Friday is Valentine's Day, and I thought a neat song that might be appropriate for Valentine's Day is a song that Andrea Hammond and I did called Lord of Life. And it's Andrea and I wrote it together, and it's to me it's really one of the most powerful songs that I've ever done. So sit back, relax, take this in. Lord of Life. Check this out.
Forgive us, Jesus, for the cross that you bared to set us free from sin. Heal us, bind us together by your love. The cross of death became the tree of life. Lord of life, Jesus Christ, nothing can separate, nothing can separate us from the nothing can separate. The cross of death became the tree of life. To turn away from sin. By your grace, renew our hearts and make us whole. The cross of death became the tree of life. Deep in the garden of the heart, there is a longing for can separate. Oh, nothing can separate us. Oh, Lord of life, Jesus Christ, nothing can separate. Nothing can separate us. The cross of death became the tree of life. Nothing can separate.
All right, nothing can separate us from the Lord of life. Nothing can separate us from the love of Jesus Christ. That's what the Bible says, and I believe it. And so what better way to end as we head into Valentine's Day? I hope I get to see some of you maybe this weekend. God's big blessings to each and every one of you. Thanks for spending time with me here on Jam and Java on these Monday nights. And I will see you next Monday. God's big blessings, as I said. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Get your motor running, heading on the highway, looking for adventure, or whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, gonna make it happen. Take the world in a love embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. I like smoking lightning, heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and this feeling that I'm under. Yeah, darling, gonna make it happen. Take the world in a love embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space like a tree.